Hello, my name is Joshua Garvin, and this is my PowerPoint on the art of Jean Giraud. Jean Giraud was a French artist, cartoonist and writer born on the 8th of May 1938, but who sadly passed away on the 12th of March 2012 from cancer. He received a total of 36 awards and honours, including the Best Realistic Artist, special awards from the National Cartoonist Society in 1972, the Golden Sprague-Blash Award in 1978, and the Acier Award for Best Single in 1991. He began his career by drawing illustrations and making comic strips before managing to sell his first story at 15 years old. After 2 years at art school, Jean Giraud became an advertising and fashion draftsman. Giraud and Mobius are pseudonyms that Giraud created for himself to sign his work. Compared to art from the 1950s, Jean Giraud's art was quite different in that it was full of detail rather than lacking in detail, or presenting comic heroes as all having the same or similar body mold. Giraud's use of negative space around the character in the images opposite draws attention to them, showing their importance on the page. Blueberry was a comic series produced by Jean Giraud and Jean-Michel Charlier, a scriptwriter and close friend. Jean Giraud has both worked on the art and writing. As Giraud, he was responsible for the creation of 30 volumes in the series. The Blueberry comic series is set in the American Wild West and follows the central character Mike Blueberry as he travels through the West, helping whoever he thinks needs help. This made Mike Blueberry one of the first anti-heroes in comic book history. Giraud's art for these comics can be described as very gritty and dirty, which helps to convey the setting of the comics. The use of line for tone helps to create form and shape, giving the art dimension and realism. The realistic and high detail art of the saloon scene opposite embodies the earthly and sometimes seedy nature of the adventurous Western graphic novel. Heavy Metal was first published in 1977. The science fiction and fantasy magazine was another series that Mobius helped make with founder Leonard Mogel. In an interview, Giraud said how the comic allowed him to be more free with his work and mentioned how he wanted to be provocative with his art. With this new freedom, Mobius was more creative and expressive. The imagery in the comics is disturbing, as can be seen in the heavy detail of the monsters. Their grubby appearance is conveyed by the dark colours. While the amount of detail in the panel of the city helps to convey how busy it is, it really is. Many new series followed Heavy Metal, such as The Long Tomorrow and Arzak. Arzak is a 4-part series created by Jean Giraud. It has no words, but is one of the most popular comics that Giraud has made. The comic takes place in a fantasy world. The story follows a silent warrior who rides a pterodactyl-like creature. The world they live in is a desolate and alien place. The art of the Arzak world reminds me of Salvador Dali's dreamlike art. The colours of the graphic novels are very bright and vibrant, but contrast with the dark shadows and night skies, creating a surreal world of imagination. This otherworldly look is re-established with Jean Giraud's colour change for things like rocks and plants, suggesting that this might take place on another planet. The amount of detail in each panel shows how strong the images are in Jean's mind. Arzak introduced a new method of storytelling in comics. Readers could now look for the purpose of the story through the art. Incal is a French graphic novel series written by Alejandro Jodorowsky that Jean Giraud originally illustrated. The Incal takes place in a dystopian future. The comic's protagonist is John Defoe, a private investigator surviving in a world of corruption and crime. The use of complementary colours can be seen in the red of John Badolf's jacket, which contrasts to the light blue of the city, showing how Defoe does not fit in with the people of the city. The sun-bleached colours of the city gives the impression that the city is run down and worn out. Once again, the level of detail in the city creates a lively and active atmosphere. Moebius was hired by Marvel in 1989 to work with Stan Lee on the Silver Surfer series, as well as painting a standalone collection of Marvel heroes like Iron Man, Spider-Man, and the Punisher. Giraud's Silver Surfer series was made during the modern age of comics. However, this series doesn't really follow the art style that was popular during that era, which was mostly set at night and with art inspired by 40s and 50s noir films. As for Giraud's painting standalone collection, fits the style of the modern age as the figures composition of the painting makes the characters appear fierce and intimidating. One of the best examples being Spider-Man, as he is crouched in the shadows. Giraud has done concept art for many well-known films, like Alien, Tron, and Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. Moebius's art varies from film to film. His concept art for Empire Strikes Back and Alien helps set the atmosphere of the films. For example, the smooth blend of warm colours in the background create a calm mood, but this is flipped by the dull grey shading of the probe droid that makes the art unsettling, as the grey does not mix well with the yellow and orange sky. Giraud's work on The Empire Strikes Back is heavily influenced by Ralph McQuarrie, who did the concept art for the first film, as Giraud's art is very similar to McQuarrie's. An unnerving tone is established in the Alien concept art, using the composition of the drawing as the size of the dead alien generates intimidation, which is supported by the small amount of colour to represent the scale of the humans compared to the alien. Moebius's influence on others. Giraud has left a big impact on pop culture. His art was associated with some of the most successful films in cinema. One example of Giraud's series, The Long Tomorrow, which inspired Blade Runner. Another example is Avatar, released in 2009. Rick Carter mentioned how the inspiration I always felt from the art of Moebius was that I believed he truly saw the imagery he depicted and he was actually not making it up. And you can see that influence in that Giraud has made. Giraud introduced anti-heroes along with a detailed and realistic and grimy art form, amplified by Blueberry, which led to countless other comic titles. I'd like to thank you for listening to the presentation. I apologise if I mispronounced any names, as I've struggled to pronounce the names. Here are the sources that will be linked with my PowerPoint, where I've got all my information and reference to the art. Thank you.